could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Mr. Clyde started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. The C's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
When I grew up, we did not have access to money, So I wanted to go see the Minnesota Timberwolves play basketball because I was very good at basketball. Not great, but very good at it, and that was my thing, So I wanted to be the best I could be at basketball, and I realized that in order to afford to go sit on courtside for the games back in the day, this would be like 96, it's about, at that time, $3,000 to sit anywhere near the court. And so I worked at a place called the Norseman. I worked at the Norseman, and it was a restaurant. I also worked for a guy named Rob Filas. He had a company called Sunrise Landscaping. And in order to work for Rob, I had to drive from my house to Rob's business 45 minutes every morning to work and then back. And that was my path to making enough money to buy the tickets to the Timberwolves games, of which I went to 1, playoffs versus the Rockets. And I'm sitting like here, and Charles Barkley is right here. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching the game, I worked, wow, it's like 3,000 doing the math. I'm working 15 an hour because I was working the landscaping. We got certain bonuses. I'm doing the math, and I'm like, well, if I work 100 hours at 15 an hour, someone help me. That's like $1,500. So I had to work like 200 hours to watch this game. Oh, no. This is expensive. How many of you have ever done the math, the things you want to see, places you want to go? So what I'm trying to help you do today is think about your business as a vehicle to get where you want to go, but don't view it as the destination. Does that make any sense? Hopefully that makes sense. If you go outside in our parking lot, look for the crappiest white van you can find. That's mine. I think I've hit every rock there is to hit with my windshield. If there's a rock, somehow I found it and my van just swerves into, we've had employees wreck it into things, run it into things, oops. And I never repair anything cosmetic because it doesn't matter to me. Because my white van is just a vehicle to get me where I want to go. Does that make sense? So when you go to your business book here and you open up to page 5, you got to write down on page 5 somewhere, how much money does that vehicle need to generate per year for you to get where you want to go? Are we on the same page? So when my wife and I got married, and I brought up Chrissy because she runs a company called Chill Spa, and she is a unique person because her business is not only a vehicle, but it's something she loves. So she loves it, and it's her vehicle. Could you imagine if instead of driving a white van, but if you drove a Lamborghini, you liked it, and it got you where you want to go? But in my case, I drive a white van because it gets me where I want to go, but it's not necessarily the most cosmetically pleasing vehicle. Are we on the same page? So she has a business where it's her. So talk about your business. How did you get started in the spa business?
I started in the spa business as a hairdresser, but I actually flipped from hairdressing into the spa industry because I saw the benefits of spa treatments. I had a friend that was going through cancer, And I saw all those benefits, and I was like, I really want to be into the world of spa because it really helps people feel better besides looking better. So that's how I dove into the spa industry, because I came from the fast world of hairdressing, which everyone loves, but now it's a little bit of a crossover. So I have a blend.
And your website's chillspa.com.
Chill Spa.
You're in New Hampshire.
In New Hampshire?
I believe since we've met, your amount of online leads has gone up.
Yes.
That's good. And so you're growing the business. What's the biggest challenge to running your business?
Managing people.
We talked about that. Didn't we say there's 3 parts? Part 1 is how to generate leads. There's another part is actually doing the product or service. The other part is managing people. So managing people is the hardest part for you?
Yes, for me, because they're family, they're friends, and I just want to make people happy and make people feel good. And so the structure that you've helped me with has been helping. So when I feel like I'm not a good enough leader, they remind me that I am a really great leader. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And Sean, I want you to pull up, if you can, pull up the agenda from April-ish, or Jackie, look for that, the agenda from April, I think, with Tebow. And in there, look for the word Yellow Pages. Sean, I'm trying to find pictures of Yellow Pages, okay? So my wife and I'm trying to give you my story so that you can think about your own story, okay? So I grew up without money, and I told you I want to go to Timberwolves games. And so at a certain point, I'm thinking, I could, pre-Christ, but I'm going, I think I could become the best DJ in Minnesota. I think I could do it. I think I could. Because I've been to a lot of high school dances and proms and parties and events, weddings. The DJs are always terrible. How many of you know people leave early if the entertainment's bad? No matter how good the decor is. And I'm going, I think I could do that better. So what I did is and again, I'm hoping you guys can jot this down somewhere on the inside cover because it's powerful. It's not about resources. It's about resourcefulness. That's where it starts. So all I knew is I knew a guy who was high most of the time named Oswald. And Oswald, when he wasn't high, he was in a band. And I went to him and I said, Oz, can I rent the equipment from you? He said, yeah, you can rent equipment from me. So speakers taken care of. Then I went to my buddy Mark. And Mark, we called him G. His nickname was G because he lost a bet. He was my youth pastor, and he lost a bet, and he's as hairy as like a beaver. He's hairy like an animal kind of thing. And so he lost a bet, and he had to shave a G into his chest. And so we always called him G because he had the G, and it was like the craziest thing ever that a man's that hairy. That it was wild. It's like shaving a cat or something. I mean, it's wild. It was like a cat before surgery, or a dog. I'm sorry, I have a lot of animal analogies. It was like when you shave a dog before surgery. You know what I'm talking about? It's like, so I got G, who was driving me to my shows because he was old enough to drive me to my shows, and he had a car. So his big thing is his niche was he had a car, and he was my youth pastor. So imagine I'm a 15-year-old, 16-year-old kid, and my partner is like a guy who just has a car. He's my youth pastor. He's 25. He's the one who drives. Oswald has the equipment, and I'm going, now I got to get leads. So what I did is I cold called every school in the state of Minnesota. Problem solved. You just cold call every school. You know, there's not a lot of schools. There's like thousands. There's not millions, but you boop, 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 boop. Hi, my 15-year-old voice kind of sounded like I was born yesterday. Hi, I'll look at who schedules your school dances, and they would say, you know, Karen or Eddie or Carl or the PTA or something. Can I talk to them? Sure. Hey, my name's Clay, and I have a DJ company called CNG DJ Service, and I would love to earn your business. And the first event I do, I'll do it for $1, and then you can just pay me after the event what you think it's worth. You know what I mean? So and they're like going, it's kind of a little bit too entrepreneurial for schools. And schools are like, why don't we just pay you $500? Because the other guy charges $1,000, $500 or $200. So, and then I would tell my dad. My dad would say, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, I'm DJing the school dance for Litchfield. Then I'm doing the one for Cokato. Then I'm doing the one for Mankato. And then I'm DJing downtown at the First Avenue. He's like, what? And I'm like, Dad, I got to tell you something. He goes, yeah, tell me something. You know, he's like, why am I getting voicemails from people? What, did you change our voicemail? Because a voicemail you would call. Remember the landline? Remember landlines? So remember when voicemail was a thing? And the light would flash red. You remember this? The light would flash red if you had a voicemail. Now no one checks voicemails. But it used to be, boop, you have a message from, right? boom, you mentioned from school district of yada yada. And they'd be like, yeah, we're looking for Clay Clark. We want to hire him for our school dance. We're very interested. Please call us back. Thanks a lot. And my dad's like, are you taking over our voicemail? Because remember, this is pre-cell phone. I'm like, we had to do some things. We had to make some changes. He's like, who's we? C and G. We are taking over. You know, my parents came down to the basement. My mom gave me permission. She comes down to the basement, and my basement, I turned it into this. And so my mom's like, what is going on? Like, I removed all the wallpaper, and I drew on the walls the future. And I've got speakers, and it's I got a pool table at a you know, kind of a pawn shop-y environment, and I got a pool table, and we are starting America's largest DJ company. Who's we? Me, Oz, G. Did you have your youth pastor, the guy who lost the bet? Yes, the three of us. How's your partnership organized? Well, we shook hands, and when Oz was probably too high to remember it, but we're good. So we're DJing. Who's ever started a company? So you're doing it, and then I remember one day my dad's like, son, did you make $4,000 this weekend? I go, actually, yeah. He's like, how many weekends in a row have you been doing this? I'm like, I make about $4,000 or $5,000 every week, Dad. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, you know, because I'm doing, 4 or 5 events, 6 events, 7 events, 3 events. Who's we again now? C, G, me. There's another guy too. We got him Matt. Who's Matt? He's a dude I met, but is he can you trust him with your equipment? I hope so. But that's kind of like building a business. Here's what I'm talking about. That's kind of how you do it, right? Do you remember starting your business?
Yeah.
Where did you start? How did you do it?
I just actually started it on my own.
Did you rent a space?
I did rent some. Well, actually, I had a booth rental.
Booth rental?
Back when I was 22.
Okay.
So that was like 40-something years ago. Well, no, 30-something years. Anyways, later on, I bought a house in a building, and that's when I started my hair business. Took a little break, and then I opened Chill Spa 20 years ago.
I'm trying to give you profound insights that will help everybody here. The time will never be just right. You have to act now. Napoleon Hill. The time will never be just right. You must act now. Okay? Activate. Mm-hmm. Go get them. You'll be dead soon. Life is not a dress rehearsal. All right? Go get them. I'll never forget when I got sued. Who remembers when the Reawaken got sued? Mike Lindell got sued. I got sued. Giuliani got sued. And I remember we all got sued. I remember that. And I had never previously been sued because I'm pretty good at avoiding those kind of things. And I remember I was in the legal mediation after 4.5 years, and my attorney probably remembers a little different, but I told the attorney, I said, who's ever been in mediation before? I've been in mediation for like 4.5 years. I'll be vague so I don't get sued again. But the idea was you're in mediation and you spend millions of dollars on legal fees. And basically the guy's suing me for allowing people to say things that defamed him. But then the guy who's suing us admitted the things that we said were true, but somehow we've defamed him personally. Follow the logic here. Professionally, he's a good guy. But personally, we've defamed him so we can personally sue because it personally has impacted him emotionally. But professionally, what we said is true. It's just, wow. So Lindell lost, I lost, Giuliani lost, we all lost. So I'm in there, doing mediation, and, I'm thinking, well, here we are. I mean, I'm not sure, but I don't mourn the past too much. I'm focusing on the future. So I'm not, my attorney was kind of like, what are you doing right now? What is going on in your cranium? And I'm going, well, I'm writing a song. I write a lot of songs, so I'm writing a song. I'll play it for you later. But I'm writing a song, kind of about this moment right now. And then my wife's like, this is what he does. I'm like, can I go to the bathroom? Because there's good reverb in the bathroom. So I was in the bathroom writing a song. But I'm just telling you, there's somebody here, you need to kind of hear those stories. We got to start now. The time will never be just right. In worst case scenario, you get sued or you lose, but you got to start, all right? Do we have the Yellow Page picture pulled up somewhere? Yellow Pages? Do we got that, Sean? Yellow Pages? Yellow Pages. Okay. So anyway, I come home. My wife and I are married, and my wife says, what are we doing right now? And I said, well, I've done the math, and if we turn off the air conditioning, and if we turn off the heat, and we get rid of one car, so you drop me off at my job. I'm working at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. You're working at ORU and Office Depot. If we can share a car and we drop each other off, and we don't have heat or air conditioning, we can afford a Yellow Page ad. Who remembers Yellow Pages? And back in the day, at least for this ad, if you wanted to be top in the Yellow Pages, at that time, it was around $2,500 a month, commitment for a year. But if you had it, your phone's going to ring, you know? So I'm going, I've got to do it. And I remember talking to Dr. Zellner, who was my wife's boss, and I said, Dr. Z, I want to get a Yellow Page ad. And he's like, yes, we've talked about this multiple times. And again, he wasn't a paid mentor. He wasn't a coach. He was my wife's boss, and he was gracious enough to meet me. And I go, I can't afford an ad. And he goes, well, then stop talking about it and just give up on your dreams. Just stop it. Because I'm like, but if you were me, what would you do? He said, I would go get 3 jobs, shut the hell up, and buy an ad. And I'm going, 3 jobs, shut the hell up, go away. 3 jobs, shut the hell up. You know? So I remember coming back a year later going, hey, I shut the hell up. I bought the ad, and I got 3 jobs. He's like, you know, you're kind of looking like Skeletor. Are you okay? And I'm like, well, I'm eating chicken panini. It was 96 cents in the budget gourmet section. And I figured out if I could have 2 meals a day for 96 cents, I could make it work. So my wife and I was literally living off of chicken panini. That's not just a sodium salt lick in the frozen food section of Walmart. Just, who's ever seen the budget gourmet section? It's just not a health tip. It is like all sodium, and 96 cents per meal back in the day. But that's how we started it, you know? And so when I bought that Yellow Page ad, to me, it was a big thing. But you've got to, at some point, and this isn't about hiring me, this is about you getting involved in yourself. You're going to have to invest in this business. At some point, you're going to have to buy the Yellow Page ad or whatever the thing is. You know, you can't just talk. Because everybody wants to talk, everybody wants to type, but you got to actually do it. Make sense? So, you know, I don't know if you guys know, but this Final Reawaken we're doing, this is the 4th venue that we've moved to. Now, Judy, you've been to these events, so you've seen how I'll text you guys, and I'm like, yeah, there you go. I'm like, hey, by the way, the event in Vegas, no stress, no worries, but the first venue canceled because of a reputational risk. The second one got embroiled in a scandal. The third one had a thing they got upset about. The 4th one, so now we're going to be outside in Vegas in the summer. Who was at that one? I'm like, but we're going to build a building. You remember that? Yeah. So that, by the way, that building was just under $1 million to build. Yeah. You remember this? So the city came in and they said, you need more ACs, more ACs. So we're building it real time. As you guys are getting there, we're constructing this thing. And Roseanne's like, where's the event? Where's the event going to be? I'm like, well, we've moved it 4 times. Don't worry. I'm emotionally stable. We're good. But that's what happens. In Oklahoma, though, I announced this final one. We're going to be in Oklahoma City. The guy got his first hit piece. Because if you host an event, by the way, they will do a hit piece on your business. So the guy got the first sniff of a hit piece, and he's going, hard pass, I'm out. So he moved it to another place. Okay, so we got the other place, hit piece, out. If you host one of our events, they will find something about you that you did wrong at some point in 3rd grade. In 3rd grade, this person stole something. They will come after you. Because they don't want me talking about it. They don't want Dr. Mike Ivets talking about the thing. You know, they don't want her voice to be heard. You know? But you've got to eventually, in my case, you got to quit talking. You got to do something. You got to take action. Okay? We got this idea? So the Yellow Pages, got to take action. Okay? Moving on. Things I want to make sure we're talking about. You're going to have to advertise. At some point, we look at page 5. You're going to have to advertise. Do you remember, Chrissy, the first time where you maybe went to a chamber, you bought a chamber membership, maybe you bought an ad, you bought a magazine ad, maybe you did a mailer, maybe you did a billboard. What was the first advertisement you did?
I did a couple flyers, and I was in a local artsy magazine.
Did you get a couple leads?
I did. I was surprised.
You were surprised?
Also, like, over 20 years ago.
Yeah, but you did it.
Yeah. I was surprised, and we were grateful because we were starting from scratch, no clients or anything, and it was strictly a spa.
Do you remember the first time you got a Google lead?
No.
Do you remember, like,
ago, but not 20 years ago.
Do you get somebody who finds you off of Google once a week, once a month, once a year? How often?
Oh, we get Google Google reviews every week now. You're saying when was
how many people find you from Google now on a weekly basis? 1, 0?
Probably like 4 a week.
New people?
New people.
And are they often coming back?
Yes, they're coming back.
So, but again, it's at a certain point, she had to say, I'm going to take action, whether it's the mailer, the advertisement, the magazine. And somebody here, you are stuck I know what this is like because I have come from this background where we talk, but we don't do. And you've got to become a doer, not a hearer. The book of James, right? And if you're saying, I don't like you, Clay, you're too hostile for me, open up your Bible to Hebrews chapter 11. It's faith plus works, right? Faith plus works. You can't just have faith. You got to take action, right? If you don't like that, the book of James, take action. You've got to take action. If you don't like that, Luke chapter 9, verse 5. By the way, if you're looking for a 9-to-5 job, open Luke 9:5. Jesus says, go house to house, laying hands on the sick, casting out demons, right? And then if anybody rejects you, don't worry about it. Just keep going. But you've got to take action, right? David in the Bible had to take what? Action. Moses had to take what? Action. Abraham had to take action. There's no stories written about, and Nehemiah stood there and did nothing. Right? I mean, and there's fake work we can do right now. There's fake work, isn't there? And I made a TikTok reel. That's not action. That's you making a TikTok reel with minimum effort. I used AI to make a Facebook reel. Good job. And no results. We got to take action that produces results. Are we on the same page? Take action that produces results. We continue. Open your book to page 257, if we can. Page 257. 257. 257. Here we go. I'm going there with you. 257. 257. And we're there. Okay? 257. It's very, very important that you create a marketing system and or a marketing calendar. Like it's like no matter how I feel, every month on the 1st, I'm doing a mailer. No matter how I feel on the 1st, I'm going to do a text blast. No matter how I feel on the 1st, I'm going to do my podcast. No matter how I feel, there's got to be to make sense, there's a cadence to it. Oh, the rhythm to it. It has to happen. If you go to page 259, these are all action items you can do later. You don't have to do them now, but it's very important. We talked about it. You've got to have the logo. You've got to have your marketing materials, your uniforms. You have to have your one sheets. Anything that you need. This book is just filled with action, but you have to take action. Action is the thing that has to happen. Action, action, action. So, Sean, will you look up the pool? Will you find the pool from the agenda? There should be video footage of the pool. When you take action, what's going to happen the moment you first take action? Chrissy, when you open up your salon and you're advertising, what happens when you have that first action? What happens?
First, when the clients come through the door?
Yeah, what happens?
Yeah. Well, we service our clients. We later ask them for a Google review.
What happened when you first opened your doors? The first customer that came in, how'd that go?
We were so excited.
Were you so excited?
Yeah, we were so excited. And giving tours.
Did everything work well when you first opened? Was it smooth at first?
No.
What kind of things didn't go well?
Well, we learned that we had to be there to answer the phones. That was key.
And it seems kind of funny, right? But then when you're living it, it's like a hell. Who knows about what I'm talking about?
Well, when you're thinking you don't have a full book, you're thinking, I can take a few hours off. But people want you to be there to answer the phones and be open on a regular hourly actual schedule. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because in hairdressing, you have your clients, you book them, and sometimes you might not be open.
So we opened up our haircut business 16 years ago. That's one of the things I'm involved in. True story, kind of crazy. I wish it wasn't true. The first week we were open, who knows about the city inspectors? You met these people? Mm-hmm. City inspector comes in. Hey, how you doing? You doing good? So glad you're in business. Hey, by the way, sprinkler system isn't up to code. I'm going, okay, how much could that be? And at that point, it was about $50,000 to fix that. And then a city guy comes in and says, hey, your bathroom isn't big enough to accommodate the load. And I'm thinking, like, part of it's kind of a funny, these people aren't funny people, but I'm like, how big of a load are we talking about? But anyway, there's no humor. There's no humor with these people. And they said, I needed to renovate my entire bathroom. We had 8. The most people that we could accommodate at one time is 8. And we had a bathroom that accommodates 2 people, but apparently they wasn't big enough or something because it was built years ago. So who's ever dealt with the cities before? The cities of some kind? So we got to redo it. So anyway, the guy, the contractor I hired to do the remodeling, he said, in order to do the plumbing, I'm going to have to cut all the way through the concrete, all the way down to the dirt of the building. and put in new plumbing, so you're going to be out another $100,000. So $150,000 of just additional costs. And as he was chopping through the concrete to make the path for the plumbing to go, I'm upstairs working on some other businesses I'm involved in, and I hear something that sounded like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" And I'm like, imagine if you were here now and you could hear faintly like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" And then it's kind of shifted into a help, and I'm thinking, I don't know if he's saying help or hell. Maybe he's an evangelist down there. Don't go to hell. Or maybe his hello. And how many of you, like, you want to intervene when, you want to intervene? Sometimes you're driving down the road and you see a car accident and you want to be the guy. No one's hurt and you want to be the guy to pull over to check, but you're not that guy. You kind of want to be the informed voter, but really you get in there and you go, city judge, county judge, Rodriguez, sounds like a name I can trust. I'll vote for him. Martinez, I like it. I'm feeling kind of more diverse this year than last. Martinez. Thomas, I should have done my research, but I didn't. So city council, Thomas, let's do that. Come on. How many of you, you've embraced the less than ideal aspects of life? We've embraced. See, you know what I'm talking about. Being real, okay? You're driving down the road. Come on. You see somebody looking for them for help on the side of the road, and you're like, and I'm driving, and you could have helped, but you had to get a Taco Bell because they have a thing going on, and you got to. Anyway. So all I'm saying is, I see this. I hear the screaming, and I wanted to help, but I didn't. But that was in the past, so I guess it's okay now. But I just could remember him screaming, "Help! Help!" And I'm just thinking, I don't know, because you're a contractor and I hired you. I don't even know who you are really. So finally, it's probably a minute, but it seemed like a day telling the story now. But it's not a minute, And I go down there and there's blood just, like a torture chamber or something, just, and I could hear the, and I'm like, what? And I'm like. And then at that point, other guys are down there. Dude chopped his foot into the shape of a triangle. It's like no big toe. It's like, well, there's a big toe, but the other toes are gone. So it's like a, and he says, and I'm just thinking, I don't know if I'm going to have to pay for this. I don't know how this is going to affect me. I think it's going to be bad for me, And they're like, "Would you help?" So we call the ambulance. They show up. Turns out the guy we hired had lied about having insurance. He gave me false workman's comp, false whatever, false. So now I got that. Guys, we've cut like 15 haircuts at this point. We got the new sprinkler system, we got the new bathroom, got a triangle foot guy, a lot of history in the business. Then a young guy named Jacob Shispansky, who tells me he watches this from time to time. Jacob says, "Clay, I hear you're opening a new business, and I know this because I work for you. I'm one of your employees at a different business. I'd like to get my hair cut." I'm going, I don't know. I almost don't want to cut anyone's hair because I think they might die, and we might kill people at this point. So he comes in, and we were doing straight razor shaves. We don't do that anymore. I'm learning. But they were doing his ear, and he turns, and it lops. So it's like, so now he's got this dangler action going on. True story. And my wife is like, "What are you doing downtown?" Like a little shop of horror. You chop off a guy's ear. You cut a guy's foot in the shape of a triangle. No, this is real. It gets worse. So we're working through all that. That's why he's an employee in the building. So every day we see this guy with the dangler, we're like, "It looks good, man. It looks good. You're fine. You're good. You're good. Can't tell. Unless we look at you. You'll be fine." Hopefully your future wife doesn't notice either, because I can't notice. As long as you turn your head this way. It's real. So anyway, so now after we get through it's like 30 days in, we got about 50 members. And Kirk, one of our first members, one of my clients, Kirk says, "I legitimately hate your business." And I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "Because the guy who cuts my hair, he does a hand massage." And I'm like, "He does a hand massage?" He's like, "After he cuts who's been to a place where they do hand massages?" And he's like, "Dude, what's that?" Airport. So he's like, "I get a haircut. I want to get out in 30 minutes. And this guy is giving me a hand massage after the haircut. I don't know. I don't reciprocate that attraction. And he's just, so all that energy. Then again, this is all in the first 90 days, okay? Final story of jackassery. Then we're making money. Finally, we're cutting hair. Everything's good. And then they go to do a shampoo, and there's no water one day. So I'm like, what? Got shampoo and a bunch of dudes' hair. I go talk to the landlord, and he says, I've been going through a tough spot, so I haven't paid my utilities for a while. And I'm like, how long is a while? He's like, it's been, a while. I'm like, a while? Bro. So I grabbed a guy, and I said, I know what to do. I grew up just poor enough to know this idea. It's like stealing cable, right? So I'm like, we're going to Lowe's. He's like, we're going to Lowe's. So we go to Lowe's, and we get the thing that you can open up a closed city valve. And I held my friend upside down, our employee upside down by his ankles. We're holding him, and he's down there, turning back on the water illegally. We're back in business. And that was those first 120 days of that business. And most people would quit. But I want you to jot down somewhere on page 0, okay? Persistence is the key. And so you're going to have to push through that adversity, and it's going to happen. And Napoleon Hill, he says, I named my son after Napoleon Hill, by the way. I love Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill says, he wrote in his book, Think You Grow Rich, he says, failure is a prerequisite to success. It's a prerequisite. So I want to tell you charlatan tales of clients I've worked with that have never had adversity because of my magnificent coaching. I don't have that example. I can tell you, because of our persistent coaching and the efforts of our clients, every client we work with has tremendous success when they follow the system. That is a statement of fact. What I cannot say is because of our persistent, aggressive action that they never have problems. And there's going to be problems if you're doing anything. So the only way, right, Aristotle said the only way to avoid criticism is to say nothing, do nothing, and be nothing. So the only way to avoid adversity is to do nothing. So as you're growing your business, at what point did it start to feel like, okay, this is a real business, knock on wood, I'm in business 2 months in a row, I've paid my lease, I'm not going to be homeless tomorrow. How long did that take you where there's some level of confidence that this would work?
Probably 6 months into it.
6 months?
And we've been in business 20 years now.
Did you hear what she just said, 6 months? I find that it takes people about 6 months. If you're a startup, it does take about 6 months before you have any level of consistency where you feel, where you feel like I'm going to make it. Who remembers the feeling of going, we're going to make it? I think we'll make it. I think we're going to make it. Starting a business is like having no gas and no one knows yet, but you have got the lights on, the warning light went on and you're the driver. And you've got maybe you think there might be 5 miles left in that tank and you're 4 miles away from the gas station. It kind of feels like that at first. So you're going to have to be okay with that scariness. Open your book to page 228. Page 228. You have to have a purple cow business. Your business has to stand out. So amidst the clutter of commerce, your business cannot be forgettable. It's too expensive to be forgettable. So things you need to do: have a unique service value offering, have a unique product offering. You want to have unique decor. You want to have unique music and ambiance. You want to have a unique experience. You want to have a unique smell. You want to have a unique branding. So you want to have a unique give back. I'm not saying this is what you should do. My wife was donating, as I mentioned earlier, to that organization called Compassion International. Who's ever done that before? Where you donate and then they send you a picture of the child and you can write letters back and forth? And I started to know she was doing this because my fridge, I no longer could see the stainless steel fridge. I could just see the letters. And I'm like, how many are we sponsoring at this point? And she shows me all the photos and I'm like, wow, you are a saint. I am a horrible person, but I think I could help fuel this passion you have for helping these people by every time someone comes in to get their hair cut, we'll just donate $1 off the top and we'll do it that way. So that was our give back. And a lot of people will come back and get their hair cut over and over and over because they know about that cause. So find a cause you can connect with. On page 225, you want to create a no-brainer. Chrissy, a no-brainer. A no-brainer, you do eyelashes.
Yeah, well, we're doing brows for $1.
Brows? What does that mean, $1 brows?
$1 brow, you can come in and get a brow shaping, and it's a huge difference once you have your brows done once, and then they want to come back on a regular basis.
$1 for the first time?
One time.
Is it
Yeah.
painful?
No, just a little bit.
Who's ever had your brows worked on? You know, I'm old enough now where on Mondays, whenever we hire a new employee, on Mondays, my hair is one of the haircuts for the demo cut. You know, because I'm okay with the bad haircut. I can go, well, you might need more training, and I will wear a hat. You know, so, but you have to have demo cuts. You know, you have to demo cuts. And I'm old enough now where the employees are like, do you want us to trim up that ear hair? It looks like you're growing a rug in there. What are you doing? Are you okay? You know, but you have a real service that people need. Mm-hmm. It's recurring. It's residual. It's a great place. But it's not going to matter if people don't know about it.
So true.
You got to get people in that door, okay? So moving on to page 229, you got to have a no-brainer. You're a no-brainer. You've got to have a no-brainer. A no-brainer is an offer so good that people cannot resist it. So people say for the Reawaken Tour, you know, why do I let people name their price? I'll tell you why. How many of you grew up in a tough spot financially? Let me tell you how crazy I viewed the world. When I met my wife, when we got married, we built, I remember I was so excited. I told my wife, we were 20, and I said, I'm going to build you a house. I've got the money saved. We're doing it because the DJ business was taking off now at this point. We got 40 guys working for us, and I'm like, we're building a house. And I met the builder's name was Rob Brewer. Rob Brewer, I think he's still around building houses. Spartan Construction. And Rob says to me, I remember this, like, I was an idiot. I was very aggressive and dumb, which is a unique thing. And so Rob said, do you guys want wood floor? And thinking I'm a smart guy, I'm like, we don't want that crap. We want carpet. Now, why is that dumb?
Because wood is the best.
See? You know that. You know that. See, you know, but unless you've lived in a place where you keep the plastic on the couch for a decade, you don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. So he says, do you want wood? And I go, we don't want that crap, Rob. She wants carpet. I want to get the best. And it's like she's married to Billy Madison or something. Because I was good at making money, but I had no knowledge of what the hell I was talking about. You know? And the whole process of building the house was kind of like that with him. He was like, sir, do you want to get like a wide hallway? And I'm like, no, we want a narrow. We want more size in the rooms. And he's like, you want narrow hallways? I'm like, yeah, like a submarine, you sicko, whatever. You know what I mean? But it's a thing of like, you've got to have, for your business, you've got to create some kind of a no-brainer, some sort of an offer that is so good that people can't resist it. So for the Reawaken Tour, we've always done you can name your price, because I grew up in a home where we could not have afforded a ticket for $250. Ever. For anything. And I know because I lived it. You know? So I remember the first time I went to a concert, I was like Will Ferrell from that Santa movie. Santa? I remember, because if you haven't been around, you know, so $250 for a ticket is like an impossible amount for some people. I get it. So that's why we do, you know, you can name your price. It's a no-brainer, right? For the haircut business, the first haircut's $1. You gotta, okay? For my business consulting, I always do the first consultation for free. Because I don't know if I'm a good fit and you don't know if you're a good fit. Okay? So I want to make sure you get this. On the no-brainer, okay, number 229, you have a no-brainer, but underneath that, you want to have a clear, sustainable price offering following the no-brainer. So you want to write that down somewhere on page 229. A clear, for you, doctor, this is very important. For have a clear, transparent pricing system after your no-brainer. Okay? Makes sense? So like the first haircut's $1, but after that, you're clearly not paying $1 for the next haircut. Make sense? So like for my consulting service, I charge $1,700 a month. I talk about it on podcasts. We've been doing that for a long, long time. Before that, it was 1,500 years ago. Then there's this thing called inflation. But anyway, what I'm saying is people don't think I'm going to work with them forever for free, but I do a free assessment, and I don't. Does that make sense? Like our haircut, it's $1 for the first one, but you don't think it's $1 every time. You know, it's $1 for the brow. What does it cost after the brow? This is the second time.
$28.
Okay, what does a typical like haircut style cost for you at your place? Women's hair.
A haircut is $80 and a brow.
$80?
$80.
Are you sick? No, I'm just saying that because that's the way people react, don't they? Sometimes. Yeah. I'm trying to get you prepared for life outside of this building. Because you know we charge $45 for men's hair, and people are like, $45? Are you sick? Well, the first one is $1. It balances out, averages out, whatever. But you got to have a clear, you got to know your numbers, okay? So
Our men's haircut is $45 too.
there it is, okay. And if you go to page 229, some of the no-brainers just to help you get unstuck, you could do buy one, get one free. That's a no-brainer, buy one, get one free. You could do $1 for your first purchase. You could do try it before you buy it. You could do a money-back guarantee. You could do samples. You've just got to have some way to create a no-brainer. On page 204, I'm getting through some highlights I want to make sure we all get into today before we move into our meet and greet tonight. So page 204. It's on page 204, it says the 21 core tasks of your marketing sales team. If you look at these, page 204, you have to know your ideal and likely buyer. Scott, you build metal buildings, so people that are interested in building a metal building are going to be the kind of people that would reach out to you, So you know that there's a select percentage of the marketplace that's looking to build a metal building. You know that, Haircuts, I know there's certain people that want men's haircuts. You need to know who your ideal and likely buyers are. Who are your ideal and likely buyers?
Anyone from 30 to 40?
30 to 40, and men or women?
Mostly women, but
Mostly women? What percentage women?
70%.
70%? And again, it doesn't mean you'll turn down men's hair, but you know your niche, which is mostly women.
Yeah, but real men chill. So
Look at that propaganda.
Yeah, real men chill.
Okay.
So once they come in for a pedicure, they want to come back.
Item number 2, you want to define the wants of your ideal and likely buyers. You want to, on your website, define the needs and wants of your ideal and likely buyers. So I know people hire me, and Josh, I'm going to bring you back up here. The reason why we work with Josh, and John Hendricks, can I bring you up here, John? Can I bring you up here? Okay, John has a moving company, but the reason why, and your microphone's here somewhere. I know it's here somewhere. I know there is a microphone. But the reason why we work with Spurl, and the reason why we work with your company, the reason why we teamed up, he bought a ticket to come to our conference, 9 years ago?
Yep.
And he flew from Canada to Oklahoma, and his flight got canceled, so you got stuck in
Minnesota.
By the way, let's hear it for Chrissy. Thank you, Chrissy. Appreciate it. Thank you. So you got stuck in Minnesota?
Yeah.
And how did you get here?
I knocked on the rental car place who had closed at the airport repeatedly until someone came out and rented me a car just so I would leave. And then I drove here through the night to this conference. I didn't have my luggage or anything, so I showed up looking like a homeless person and swore I was this person and asked you to let me in.
So I want to make sure you're getting this idea. He hires us to help him grow his business. We get along, we like each other, but the utility is he wants me to help him grow his company. Does that make sense? That's the utility. Your utility is you're helping people clean up their look, their aesthetic, to relax, to chill, to have a great experience. That's what you do. What do you do, John? What's your business?
Moving company. We also do home staging.
Are you looking to start or grow a super successful business? Join Eric Trump, the New York Times best-selling author of The Carnivore Diet, Sean Baker. Join hundreds of real business owner client success stories at the highest-rated business conference in America. Join Mel Kay, Pastor Jackson Lawmeyer, Julie Green, Amanda Grace, Pastor Dave Scarlett, and myself in Tulsa, Oklahoma, November 5th and 6th. Attend the most real, the most authentic, the highest rated, and most reviewed Ultimate Business Growth Workshop. During this 2-day interactive business workshop, you're going to learn everything you need to know to make your business grow. Learn how to generate more sales. Learn how to produce additional high-quality inbound leads. Learn how to create repeatable systems. Learn how to build a successful business. And learn how to do it now. If you've ever wanted to learn how to start and grow a super successful company, this is the event for you. At our 2-day interactive business workshop, we will teach you specifically every step that you need to take to start and grow a super successful company. We will teach you specifically how to get to the top of the Google search engine results, how to dominate artificial intelligence search results, how to market via social media, how to generate more leads, and how to get in front of your ideal and likely buyers. We're going to teach you the step-by-step processes that you need to learn in order to hire, inspire, train, and retain high-quality employees and teammates. We're going to teach you specifically what you need to learn to manage a team of people. We're going to teach you how to manage your finances, how to look at the numbers, and to figure out the specific steps that you need to take to create a time freedom and financial freedom producing business.
At the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, we've been teaching entrepreneurs everything they need to know to start and grow a successful company since 2005. In fact, at our 2-day interactive business workshops, we're going to teach you marketing, systems and scaling, human resources, accounting, social media marketing, branding, search engine optimization, sales training, financial management, and so much more. You can learn more and request tickets today simply by going to thrivetimeshow.com. Yes, you can request tickets today simply by going to thrivetimeshow.com. That's the website. Join Eric Trump, myself, and Team America live and in person at the Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshop, November 5th and 6th in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas, and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrivetime, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. So I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement.
Okay, Aaron Antis, November 5th and 6th. Guess who's coming back to Tulsa? I will give you a hint. His first name is Eric, and his last name is Trump. Whoa. And his father is the 47th president of these United States. Yes, Eric Trump is joining us once again here September 25th and 26th in Tulsa, Oklahoma for the 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop. But Eric Trump is bringing friends. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Amanda Grace will be in the place. Dr. Stella Emanuel will be here in T-Town in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Julie Green will be on the scene. Mel K will be here to say hey. Dave Scarlett from the His Glory team will be here. It's going to be a blasty blast right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you want to start or grow a super successful company, if you want to make your wallet great again or make your wallet great for the first time, if you want to learn marketing, systems, scaling, human resources, accounting, social media, branding, search engine optimization, sales training, financial management, and more, get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. Once again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I've definitely learned a lot about life design and making sure the business serves you. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side. Play is hilarious. I literally laughed so hard that I started having tears yesterday. And we've been learning a lot, which, you know, we've been sitting here, we've been learning a lot, and so the humor definitely helps. It breaks it up. But the content is awesome, off the charts, and it's very interactive. You can raise your hand. It's not like you're just listening to the professor speak, you know. The wizard teaches, but the wizard interacts and he takes questions, so that's awesome. If you're not attending the conference, you're missing about 3/4 to half of your life. You're definitely, it's probably worth a couple $1,000s. So you're missing the thought process of someone that's already started like 9 profitable businesses. So not only is it a lot of good information, but just getting in the thought.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Well, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States, he needed a competent man to run and execute his business plans. Showtime! So the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint. I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him, character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart. And I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good. And then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
Yeah. But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is.
The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here. With the most people we've ever had in this building was for the Jim Brewer presentation. Jim Brewer came here, the legendary comedian Jim Brewer came to Tulsa, and we had
718 people. 718 people.
And I thought to myself, there's no more room. I felt kind of bad that a couple people had VIP seats in the men's restroom. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But I thought, you know what, we should probably add on. So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences, and to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years, so let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah, we're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name. You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard.
Yep.
And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch and to make it entertaining when you're stretching. And this is a true story. When you get up and stretch, you'll be greeted by mariachis. There's going to probably be alpaca here, llamas, helicopter rides, a coffee bar, a snow cone. There's just...
You had a crocodile one time. That was pretty interesting.
I should write that down and actually do that.
Sorry for that one guy that we lost.
The crocodile, we duct taped its face so that we duct taped.
No, it was a baby crocodile.
And it was duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape around the mouth so it didn't bite anybody. But it was really cool passing that thing around and petting
I should do that. We have a small petting zoo that will be assembled. It's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. Yeah. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business. But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet.
I was looking to learn how to take my business, like they've said today, from being very successful to being systematic. I've got a very successful practice in 3 different cities, make good money, just want to take it to the next level with systems and processes to where I can drive my cars more.
Paul Hood.
I've been a CPA for 33 years.
And what kind of growth have you and your great team had here over the past, let's say, 5-6 years?
For the last 5, when I met you 5 years ago, we were doing 3 million. This year we'll do 24 million.
Whoa. And you say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because
simple.
I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch. It's Ted Escondido's, an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. And someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay. I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we've got one guy who's given me a verbal to be here. And this is a guy who's one of the wealthiest people in Oklahoma. And nobody really knows who he is because he's built systems that are very utilitarian, that offer a lot of value. He's made a lot of money in the, it's where you rent. It's short term. It's where you're renting storage spaces. He's a storage space guy. He owns what do you call that? The rental, a
storage space.
Storage units.
Yeah.
This guy owns storage units. He owns railroad cars. He owns a lot of assets that make money on a daily basis, but they're not like customer facing. Most people don't know who owns the mini storage facility, or most people don't know who owns the warehouse that's passively making money. Most people don't know who owns the railroad cars, but this guy, he's given me a verbal that he will be here, and we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now, thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Thomas Crossan, owner and founder of Full Package Media in Dallas, Texas. I've been a coaching client with Clay Clark since the beginning of our business. We started about a year ago, August of last year. I had no clients, no idea what we were doing, no clue really what was going on. And now we've grown to where we've got 6 photographers, we've got office space here. I have an admin, sales person that works for us full time, developing an online system, and a lot of that growth we attribute to Clay helping us. And there's so many things that, his stuff is not revolutionary. It's not this crazy walk on hot coals and all this stuff. It's just real stuff.
It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin.
Oh.
I think that's going to change your life. I promise you this will be 10 times better than that.
Whoa. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Now, don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. It is life changing. It is life changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right. Really. So if you're looking to have life changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I promise you it will be a life-changing experience. We can't wait to see you right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Whoa.
What kind of growth have you had since you and I have been working together over these past few years?
3.45 million. I got those stats before I got on here.
So you've grown by 3.45 million.
Yeah, 3,450,000.
Would that be like if you took the combined revenue and maybe doubled it? Have we gone up by
about almost 3, not quite.
Whoa.